They don't like me.
Bendy Casimir, fighting out of France, weighing 152 pounds. His MMA record, 10 victories, 4 losses, 2 draws, 1 win by knockout. Facing Mikhail Malutin from Russia, an identical 152 pounds, 25 victories, 6 losses, 10 wins by knockout. Marcel Homeyer is the referee of this lightweight bout.
Now, this is going to be an interesting fight. Bendy Casimir happens to be the most experienced member of Team France, and taking on the most experienced member of Team Russia. It's going to be an excellent fight.
Casimir in the red trunks, Malutin in the camouflage trunks. There's the bell round number 1.
Now, both guys said they feel very confident with their striking, so we're going to see a little bit of trading here. Malutin is out of the Red Devil Fight Club, training with Fedor Emelianenko. Got to be very confident on the feet.
Casimir in the southpaw stance. Malutin missing with the big overhand right hand.
Bendy looks very quick, very relaxed. Mikhail looks a little tense, a little bit tense. Nice right hand. Good double. He's doing a good job of backing Bendy up. Recently, for the first time, MMA has become legalized in France. Now recognized as a sport. Good takedown by Bendy.
Casimir shooting the single leg successfully.
Before it was not recognized as a professional sport, so these guys consider themselves really the first French mixed martial artists.
Casimir into the side mount, hooking the leg.
These guys have been allowed to train, but this is the first time they've been allowed to participate in events. Tight guillotine from half guard. He still might get it. Mikhail defending well.
Malutin caught in the guillotine.
That looks tight.
Himself.
He might have it.
Trying to pry the head free. Very tight guillotine. Casimir back in the advantageous position, trying to get the hooks in now from the bottom.
Casimir is being very tenacious with this guillotine. Even from half guard, he's still going for it, and he guts out.
Beautiful by Malutin, getting the hand in, Jimmy, to break out the lock.
Now, if he had that in full guard, I guarantee you that would have been a submission. Just didn't quite have the right position, couldn't quite use his legs to get the submission.
Casimir on his back in the open guard. Now moved to the center of the ring for the restart by referee Marcel Homeyer. Casimir complaining about his gloves.
Casimir has really been impressing me with both his stand-up and his jiu-jitsu on the ground. Being very aggressive, very sharp.
Malutin was in all sorts of trouble in that guillotine and pried his way out, showing a lot of composure. Missing with that right hand from the top.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Malutin does from the top, whether he tries to pass or ground and pound. Russians known for their overhand rights, a lot of hooks. They tend to do a lot of damage on the ground.
Good clinch from the bottom by Casimir.
Casimir's doing a good job of not taking damage. Seems very tight, burying his head.
Getting punched on top of the head with the left hand by Malutin. Short little hammer fist.
He's going for a sweep. Looks like a leg lock. Stepping over, looking for a heel hook, it looks like, but I don't think he's in the right position to get it. Malutin, might spin to the knee bar.
Malutin looking for the rear naked choke, I believe.
He won't get that without his legs free. He looks like he's going for a knee bar, trying to straighten that leg out. He's in trouble now. He's got it. Malutin rolling through, going to the heel hook, and they roll into the ropes. That was very dangerous for Malutin. Very dangerous.
Center of the ring.
Fedor Emelianenko greatest MMA fighter on the planet. His manager, Vadim Finkelstein.
Vadim's the founder of M-1 as well.
Bank. No.
Casimir complaining about the restart. He was in leg lock position, had it well.
No.
Now this is where experience is such a factor. A guy like Malutin is not going to allow himself to start deep in a heel hook. He's going to do everything he can to get out of that.
There's the restart. We'll see what Malutin can do from the top.
And he pulls right out. You're just not going to get it on a restart like that unless you've really got it cinched. Still going for the leg lock. Now it's interesting, Casimir is going crazy with leg locks against a Sambo expert in Malutin.
Casimir going for the body scissors. Not going to get a submission from that angle.
But going for the leg once again. Malutin very experienced with leg locks. All of the Red Devil fight team train extensively in leg locks, so his defense is just going to be good.
Malutin trying to spin free.
Casimir is just incredibly tenacious with his leg locks. Now what Malutin has to do is he's got to sit up and put weight on that foot. Oh, reverse heel hook. This is a bad one. Manages to slide out.
Short little right hand by Malutin.
And now Casimir's on top, transitioning very, very well.
Very even round number one, Jimmy.
I would say Casimir has a slight edge right now. He's being extremely aggressive, a lot more aggressive than I thought he would be.
There's the bell, the end of round number one.
I would have to give that round to Casimir. He was a little bit more aggressive, a little sharper, looked very good on the feet, and very aggressive with the submissions, especially leg locks. Here are Remy Bonjowski and Peter Aerts, two of the greatest kickboxers in history, watching the M1 event. Out to support their native Holland, I'm sure.
We're just outside of Amsterdam, in Almere, Holland, at the Top Sports Centrum. This is a star-studded crowd from the fight world.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments Malutin makes. Oh, nice takedown by Casimir on the replay. Right into guard. And jumping straight for the guillotine. Now he didn't get it, didn't have quite the right leg position, but ended up getting a sweep out of it and almost tapped Malutin out. That's very surprising. So far, Casimir seems very, very slick on the ground, offensively and defensively. That's very, very impressive.
Are you surprised at how round one went? Because Malutin very experienced. 31 pro fights, 25 wins.
Fedor giving him a little bit of direction in the corner. They've got to change his game plan for the second round. I think he came out a little tentative. I was expecting him to be a lot more aggressive. Usually your more experienced guys take advantage of mistakes and tend to seize on opportunities a little bit more. But in this round, I think Casimir was way more the aggressor.
What does Malutin need to do to win this fight? What does Casimir need to do to win this fight?
I think Casimir needs to do exactly what he's been doing. I think he's doing very well with the takedown, looks good on the feet. Malutin needs to press the action a little bit more. It's really obvious that Malutin was a little tense in the first round, was backing off a little too much. I think he needs to get in Casimir's face, get him uncomfortable.
Start of our second and final round. Casimir out of France in the red trunks. Malutin from Russia in the camouflage trunks.
Nice double leg, driving through the ropes. Boom, another takedown.
Malutin going for the guillotine, could not get it on. Casimir so quick.
No, Casimir's good, and his positioning is very good on the takedown. Really not very that vulnerable. Doesn't let his head stick out. There's really no submission there.
Restart ordered in the center of the ring.
Now it looks like Malutin's complaining a little bit about his arm position. I think he thought he had a Kimura position. Now let's see if he can pass or ground and pound.
Casimir in the half guard.
Malutin's got to get that left arm under the head of Casimir in order to get out of this position. He's never going to do it with his arm over the back of his head. Looks like he might be going for a guillotine. I do not think that's a good idea from here. Pulling up, good posturing. Casimir very aggressive with the pass, very aggressive on the bottom. Malutin once again seems a little bit tentative.
Malutin sitting comfortably in the open guard, had the half guard a moment ago. Casimir looking to pass. Not too much ground and pound from him though.
Very little. He seems to want to pass and go for the submission. Now Malutin on the bottom is not being aggressive with his legs, not really setting up very many submission opportunities. He's not going to win this fight with short punches. I think that's the bad strategy. Trying for a sweep, ends up giving up his back. Very bad move. Going for the single leg now.
Into the guillotine by Casimir. Can he get Malutin this time? Nearly had him in round number one.
Now this time it's in full guard. He's in a much better position to finish. But Malutin very experienced. From the look on his face, it looked like he's going to be all right, but this is a very tight position. And this is one of those you have to be very careful with. Casimir can burn a lot of energy working for this choke if he doesn't get it.
Center of the ring.
And they're restarting in the center. The problem with these lightweights, a lot of times they're very, very active, very aggressive. They're going to end up at the end of the ring. They're moving around a lot. So this is the second and third submission we've seen get broken up because they're too close to the side of the ring. And when you restart, it's never as tight. An experienced guy is never going to let you get it.
There's the restart.
Now Malutin's in half guard. Let's see if he tries to pass or ground and pound. I think he's going to go for the pass. He's got to know he's behind.
Short left hands to the back of the head, then to the body. Not much effect on Casimir by Malutin.
Now, you can see Casimir is very tight with the hands. He buries his head very well. You're just not going to get great strikes from there. But if he can control this round by staying on top, he might be looking for a decision. Because right now, he's not doing very much damage. Now, we saw before with Casimir, he sits up, likes to underhook the leg and go for a sweep. He might try that again, just like he's doing now.
Those were nice short right hands to the rib cage of Casimir. And Malutin throwing a short left to the head. Almost figure forward on the wrist.
Now,
Malutin on Casimir.
Malutin has to be very careful. If Casimir can pop out to the left side, he can take his back from here.
A look from our referee cam. The view that you're seeing, identical to that of our referee Marcel Homeyer.
Now Casimir seems to like this half guard sweep a lot, but he's just not being aggressive enough with it. Going a little bit to X guard here, trying to get the sweep. He's got the ankle, might stepped out of the sweep. Now we're back to half guard. Casimir's got to be a little busier on the bottom in order to get the sweep.
Malutin's starting to throw more and more hammer fists with both hands.
But what he's not trying to do is pass half guard and get into a dominant position. I think he's trying to be content to win this round on the scorecards.
Big right hand by Malutin, just missing the mark.
Now working his open guard is Casimir. Walking his feet up a little bit, might be going for submission here.
Casimir trying to push Malutin off, bearing it into the hip bones. Let's talk about that, Jimmy. What you're trying to do from the bottom.
Now, from here, what Casimir should be trying to do is walk those legs up and go for a submission. His strategy seems to be bury in close and go for a sweep. I don't think that's a good idea against a guy like Malutin. Now he's standing up, couple of leg kicks, back down into the guard. Casimir, this seems to be a reversal of the first round. Malutin seems to be the aggressor. Casimir seems a little tentative. Once again, he's got a sweeper's guard. He seems not as aggressive as he should be with the submissions. Seems content to go for the sweep. The problem is he's not committing enough with his hips. He's not going to get Malutin off him.
Malutin definitely the busier of the two men, punching on the ground. Could that be the difference in this fight?
I think it will be. Now, once again, rolling for a leg lock. Malutin sitting his weight on his knee to get out of that. Malutin very savvy with leg lock defense, as we saw in the first round, so it's going to be unlikely he's going to get a leg lock out of this. But what Casimir is doing effectively is going for submissions, transitioning to sweeps. But Malutin's hit to it this time, putting a lot of weight on that leg.
Casimir is given his back. Malutin cannot take advantage. Casimir very, very quick.
The problem is in this round for Casimir. Oh, rolling for a knee bar. He might have it. Looks very straight. Needs to get those hips in. Malutin is rolling effectively. Malutin needs to plant that leg and get out of this position. If Casimir had been a little tighter with the hips, we could have seen a submission right there. Boom. Now looking like he's taking Malutin's back.
Casimir trying to go for the rodeo ride, couldn't get the hooks in, and that's the end of round two, the end of our bout.
This is going to be a very, very difficult one to judge. I think both fighters took a round in this fight. Casimir totally exhausted in his corner. Very difficult fight for him. Malutin also. That's a tough one to score. Very, very difficult. Now you can see earlier when he jumps for the guillotine, going to close guard this time, once again not able to finish. And I think that may have cost him the round. Lost a lot of energy going for the guillotine and submissions that ended up not working.
There were the short punches by Malutin. Again, very, very active when both men on the ground.
Now Casimir rolling for that leg lock, not quite tight enough with the hips, can't get the knee bar. But every time you missed a submission, Malutin sat right up and got position again. I would have to say this one, if I had to judge, I would give it to Malutin. The first round was a lot more even than the second. Second one clearly dominated by Malutin. I would say Team Russia takes the first one.
Very good fight by these two 152-pounders in the lightweight division. Not a standard 10-point must system like we're used to in the United States and Canada, like you would see in professional boxing.
Exactly, exactly.
We set it up. Here's the official decision.
Winner of the MMA fight, right here in the M-1 challenge for minus 70 kilograms, by split decision, out of the blue corner from Team France, Bendy, Casimir!
And Casimir takes the decision. Very, very close split decision for Bendy Casimir.
As we take a look at tonight's team standings after the opening bout, France leads Red Devil of Russia 1-0. Bendy Casimir recorded a hard-fought and very close decision win despite a fantastic effort from Mikhail Malutin. When we return, Team Red Devil will attempt to capture their first win of the evening versus Team France as Farouk Lakabir faces Eric Oganov in the welterweight division. This is the M1 Challenge.